Thank you for joining Vision India Forum's Cybersecurity Summit today, wherein we will be discussing on the International Human Rights Day today, 10th of December, the important aspect of cybersecurity. Now, we have been joined by Professor N.K. Goyalji, one of my very old and very close friends, who is the president of the CSAI, Cybersecurity Association of India. And we have also been joined by Mr. PVR, P. Vishwanath Raoji. He is somebody who has been the director of the International Human Rights Organization, and he would be talking to us about the aspects of international human rights which are inextricably linked with cybersecurity, which has become one of the most critical issues in the global landscape of, inter-country, intra-country, as well as intra-organizational dynamics. Now, let me give the entire initiative to Dr. Professor N.K. Goyalji. Goyalji, what exactly is the role of CSAI, Cyber Security Association of India?
Actually, I'm feeling a bit cold. I will request my colleague Dr. PVR to start, and I will speak after some time. I just want to.
Thank you very much.
PVR ji, could you take us through the role of IHRO?
Thank you very much, Goenka ji and Professor Goyal ji. International Human Rights Organization is incorporated with United Nations and as well as an International Bar Council. We are right now in the 88 countries and so by and large, being today an International Human Rights Day, because the world is right now is not on a right track. As per and what is called WhatsApp calls and what you call Telegram calls, and we can say digital media, we are not, it is a hindrance to human rights. The question rises, why is linked with cyber securities? Number one is right to speak, right of expression, right of expression and right of living is a great hindrance to all of us through cyber crimes. Cyber crime or cyber criminals are not in previous ages or previous years. Everybody knows very well that we know the criminals who are there, but today we cannot identify who are the learning hacking through YouTubes. There is no courses. If they learn from the courses also, they also making not in the positive way, but also in the negative way to earning. So on the International Human Rights Day, as we are wanted that every human being or every person and should work on substantial development goals, our main motto is to protect humans or the civilization with cyber crimes. This is a action which I want to tell to you. क्योंकि अब अगर गोयल जी शुरू करेंगे तो आगे के चर्चा हम Perfectly.
Okay, let me try. Amit, as you could see, in fact, very bad thought, but okay. Good morning, friends. Mr. Amit ji and PVR ji. I represent Cyber Security Association of India. The association was formed because there is no association handling the cyber security issues, and we are already registered. We have been doing lots of programs and in things. Our basic purpose is to to see that the government policies comes up which will address the cyber security risk, and also the cyber security awareness to be done across India and world. And there are few things which are very relevant. The one thing is, as it is, news every day coming up that so and so has been hacked or so and so money has been lost, and then we will discuss this for a few days and then forget it. There is no remedial measures taken by either government or public not to have the same news again. So we are living in a situation where the incidents happens and then we try to say it is very bad and we try to blame either AI or somebody else, etc., etc. Second thing is that the cyber security policy was announced by the government in 2013. 3 months, 2 months, we get a news that new policy will come up very soon, but we are still awaiting for that, so we don't know when the policy will come. Third thing is, we have the courses in the universities for BTech, computer science, electronic engineering, history, geography, etc. But there is no course of graduation in cyber security as such. So what people are doing, colleges are adding up in their subject this as an optional subject, covering something, and so there is a lack of talent in the market. Lack of talent in the market. Nobody knows how to get the people. In the absence of this, there is something very surprising that almost every company is supposed to employ a officer called CISO, Chief Information Security Officer. But there are no prescribed qualifications or experience for him. So it may happen that a doctor dealing in the lab, he has no knowledge. So this is another gap which we are trying to address. Then another thing is that within the government, there are lots of departments who handle the cyber security. The Ministry of IT under the IT Act, National Security Advisor, who is the biggest officer in the India, then Home Affairs, then I4C, then NCIIPC. We feel there is lack of coordination between all of them. One of the biggest example of this lack of coordination is that we all know that biggest risks are from the mobile phones. And mobile phone is a one issue. Mobile phone as a telecom comes under Ministry of Communications, but because Ministry of IT has launched the PLI for mobile phone, so they think it comes under them, and it is the responsibility of Ministry of Communications to see that we are nationally secured. So they passed an order saying that any equipment which is connected to telecom network will have to be security tested to make it a trusted product. But then they exempted mobile phone from this. Ministry has not commented, and the security offices or MHA or I4C, another body, they still are trying to react. What we feel as an association and as a country, then when we are talking of national security risk, data theft, data this, the mobile is an important element. So this is another angle which our association goes on doing. Then there are two more things. Suppose there has been some incidents happening in my office. I don't know whom to contact, who is expert, because the cyber experts are into various fields. Some for penetration, some for checking, some for this, some for OT, some for OL, all these things. And there is no database available whom to
Yeah,
contact.
Goel sir, just a small interjection, if you allow me. You just now spoke about the mobile phones security being very critical. To include the mobile phones. And I still remember the case of the parliamentarians receiving, different kinds of issues or messages from the Apple. Their Apple phones were, kind of compromised. So I think that this particular issue of the mobile phones connectivity and cybersecurity is of utmost importance, because if the parliamentarians, mobile phones can be, compromised, nobody is secure in this country.
I agree with you, but the beauty is that we all know the incidents that it happened. But then after that, what is the action taken or precaution taken? Nobody knows. We have no idea as to what happened into that incident. Apple will give his story, operator will give his story, and it dies out. That is where, I mean, as you said, all telecom equipments in the network and not the mobile phone. There are, and we also have seen in the case of Israel Ukraine war, that even a pager, which is a very small device, has created havoc. Mobile is much more than that. So we are association wise, we are working for that. We try for that. We also worked out with the government for national security issues arising out of CCTV, because CCTV is one thing which contains every data we do everywhere, and government has nicely agreed that all CCTVs should be tested for security. But then, because of demand from dates is postponed from 1 to 2, now it is April 25. So we are working for that. These are the things we feel we need. And I was saying two things more. One I said is the cyber expert. There is no database available with anywhere, either with industry or with government or with association, who are the cyber experts in the country available if any advice is needed. Second thing, there is no directory or no database of how many companies are providing cyber services or cyber products. So these are
Now, let me, wonderful suggestions. I mean, you also talked about the CISO. Is there a mandate to appoint CISOs, and who regulates that?
uh, in India, again, cybersecurity is a subject, as I said, confused MHA, IT, or telecom. But having said that, the individual ministries or department, like in the case of hospitals, it is mandated by the Ministry of Health. The power, Minister of Power said CISO. CISO they say, which will be and report, and here happens. But who is eligible for that is not defined. We are trying for that, but it's not a small thing. This is the situation.
Okay, now let me go back to Mr. PVR. I mean, from the Human Rights Commission, from the from the United Nations perspective, Mr. Rao, Mr. Rao,
Please.
from the United Nations.
Goenkaji and Goelji, there is small correction. Hope you understand, you know what is PSU. Psychological smartphone use. So it is, if you say mobile, it is okay, but where you are getting this cyber crimes through smartphones. So when you are saying about psychological smartphone, everybody has been addicted psychologically with mobile. If your mobile has an, if you have the charging of 18% or 10%, he charges and he does not know what is going on. He becomes terrible, mentally struck, and wanted to know what is happening.
Please.
So psychologically, a person got totally addicted to the smartphones. Another thing, due to the smartphones, lot of Bharti also started the app called Waves. शायद आप जानते हैं. So once the app came, everybody got is addicted to only smartphones, and there is no such called interaction between the people and people, just going through the smartphones, discussing everything in the smartphones. I cannot deny. And tomorrow I cannot say ये पक्का हो सकता है कि television will not be like radios, and computers are become right now in mobiles. So when we are addicted with so-called smartphones, the or cyber crime through the mobiles or so-called smartphones will totally increase. And I'm extremely sorry, as I said, Goelji said, the Companies Act 2014 has to be amended to have cyber officers in every company. Unless and until that instructions has not been given by in the act, people will not introduce, and there is no who will be the person and what is the capacity of the person, unless and until it is not been instructed in an act or amendment is not been given. We cannot say who is the correct person, who is a hacker, who is a perfect. That is the biggest thing I want to suggest to the people of all the companies and the government of India to amend Companies Act 2014. Number second is, as Professor Goelji said, there is no perfect act. There is no perfect act about cyber crime. IT Act is something different. Cyber crime is something different. A person who is been catch hold of this cyber securities or cyber crime cannot be presented before the court or prosecuted by IT Act. IT Act, there are loopholes, and that loopholes are very there. Unless and until that loopholes has been removed and separate act has to be given, the cyber. And once the cyber crime is increasing, the government also does not know what should be the act. अब act को कैसे बनाना है उनको भी नहीं मालूम. There are many people, experts are also there, but they cannot, unable to define what were the phrases to be used in cyber crime. And there are only one or two articles or sections in IT Act, and that IT Act cannot, sections cannot make a person call he's a cyber crime. And once, I don't understand why these laws are, there is a delay of making such a law. Like CSAI, International Human Rights Organization, Vision India Forum are trying the best for the better law and implementation of law. There are many cyber police stations, but I don't know, this cyber police station also do not know how to implement the in IT Act. It should be, in other words, we are in the dilemma of war, which is happening in India. I'm talking about India, and across the, without any perfect law and procedures in this system.
Mr. Rao, could you throw some light, trying and aligning the issue of human rights with cyber attack with what happened in the Middle East, which Dr. Goel was talking about, because then the relevance of this show would be more amplified.
When the question has been raised about the Middle East, our organization had an emergency meeting. The thing in a very wide spectrum. In this issue, we had totally only denied and wrote a letter to United Nations to make an initiative or approach of such type of attacks in the Middle East. And ask the United Nations to implement United across the world so that it cannot be continued to any other like SARC or what you call in any other areas for better human society.
That's okay, but can you hear me?
Yeah.
That's okay, but then what is the current situation with respect to the kind of example or the unwanted example that was set in by what happened in the case of the attack in the Middle East using the pagers?
Yes, sir. See, attack in the Middle East, we had made, as I told you earlier, we had approached the United Nations, number one. Number second is we are also asking the people who are the ambassadors at large in our Middle East to discuss the ambassadors of the concerned government and the people to stop this type of cyber wars and to we have only given an approach. We only know what to do, what not to do, but we are unable to do how to do because the powers are not in our hands. We only do what to do and what not to do.
Okay, Goel sir.
We do not know how to do.
Goel sir, AICT takes a lot of initiative to introduce such things like recently they introduced drone labs. They are planning to introduce in all the 45 colleges or universities. So from the cybersecurity perspective, what work has been done by the education institutions or the office holders like UGC, AICTE, Ministry of HRD? What work has been done and what are your recommendations from the CSAI perspective?
Everybody in the world, every department, every individual, every NGO, every association will do something to say that we are doing that. The Ministry of HRD or AICT, they have made some type of guidelines that cybersecurity should be a subject. But then this subject is a optional subject. In the case of CBSE, they have also made something making it a optional subject. My objection or my recommendations was it should be mandatory, but how it can be mandatory unless we have a course BTech in cybersecurity? That was the point. Sub is that, as I said before, there is no database. As an association, we have started registering the cyber experts, but our registering cyber experts is a long-term thing. People may or may not register, but we are trying to do this thing. Same is the case of cyber companies or cyber service companies. We have started registering them, but it's a long process. So we expect some government support without money for this thing. Third thing I said is that cybersecurity as a mandatory subject. We are approaching the government, trying for that, but it's a long race. And we need the following. Number one, the cyber policy should be announced early. It was last announced in 13 and not so far revised. Every second, third month, there is a statement, it is coming, but not so far come. Another point, IT Act has been there, but the IT rules provided, they don't talk of cyber security or internet security, but not of cyber. So we are asking that there should be a separate cyber law in the country. Our biggest demand is that there should be declaration of a nodal ministry who will be responsible for this thing. As I gave the example of mobile, between two, three ministries. In the case of CCTV also, same thing, IT ministry or BIS or DOT or individual ministry. So that is another big issue going on. Government very clearly in the last month have given the guidelines that anything under IT Act is covered by Ministry of IT, in telecom by telecom, and national security issues overall will be handled by NSA office. But then there is in between again a confusion about the MSA role or IC role or NCIAPC role. So these are the things we are asking. And we are saying that we need strict policy, procedures, guidelines to prevent the happening. We are not interested that after money has been lost, then we think with who that thing. In fact, if given a choice, we want to say do not publicize the amount lost or the cyber theft done, because it doesn't bring any use to anybody. But it simply says Mr. So and so lost so and so rupees today. And how does it help me? It should it should come up by somebody, either experts or government, that this has happened and this could have been avoided by this thing, or in future we do this thing. We came out with a suggestion which has been brought down by the in the case of cyber thefts of money or something, it is the instant payment which is mostly responsible. You get a click, you click it, the money is lost within seconds. Now we were saying that let there be a gap of half an hour or 20 minutes. Because within 20 minutes, Mr. Amit Goenka will realize, oh, this may not be correct, this may be fool. But then every banker, everything, no, no, we want to have the real life, real world, all those things, they argue and they continue. I am not convinced. How does the earth will fall down if payment is made after 5 minutes in the stage interest? Same is the case. You referred about the parliamentarian getting message from Apple iPhone. Again repeating, what has been done after that? What is the guideline? What is the issue? What are the directions either to mobile companies or Apple company or operator or government or department or parliamentary? Nothing. Still they are in the same risk. That is the problem we are facing.
Sir, in the case of the banks, in the case of banks, which are banks and financial institutions, which are one of the most critical from cyber theft perspective, what has been your understanding over the last few years as the president of this very important association? And what are your recommendations? Because there is also this angle of the law and order. In the case of thefts, police is also involved. And I'm not very sure about how trained or how conversant the people at the cybercrime police station levels are with what the rules, what exactly is a cybercrime. Do they even understand the meaning of a cybercrime?
As you rightly said, there are
सर आप म्यूट हो गए थे, म्यूट हो गए गोयल सर, म्यूट हो गए. Please start again. Please start again.
okay. Okay, I was saying, as said by you, in the last 15 or 10 or 20 years, suppose, I don't remember the figure offhand, but suppose 1 million cases have come up to the notice where money was lost. The argument of the bank is one line: you are responsible because you gave the OTP, I am not responsible. So bank will simply edge it out by saying I am not responsible. And they are right for that reason, you gave the OTP. But as regards the agencies who deal in cybersecurity, whether it is a professor, whether it is a police officer, whether it is cyber crime officer, whether it is any other government officer or judges, the question is who is going to teach them or explain them what is the cyber security, or what is cyber crime, or what is cyber risk, or what is cyber theft, or what is digital arrest. You see, nobody is there to tell want to have. Situation has come to the level when AI came, and we have seen hundreds of cases of digital arrest. So even our honorable Prime Minister has to say in his speech that this is a bogus thing and not advisable, etc., etc. But my problem is, okay, you have said it is not good, but what is that you have done? You simply have asked us, be careful. Please be careful. That's all. Nothing more. Why can't the government, with its myth and with its powers, if has there been a single prosecution of a digital arrest? Why digital arrest? You have seen the fake videos of Akash Ambani, Amitabh Bachchan, Narayan Murthy, everybody. Is there a single case of prosecution or something being done against them? Nothing. So the hackers go on doing it. Recently, we have a video going on with Sunil Bharti Mittal. Somebody from calling from his number in perfect his voice, his finance officer in Africa to transfer X million dollar to this account. The officer got suspicious that Mittal has never talked to me directly for transfer of money. Why he has said this so and so? So he has not transferred, money was not lost. But when Mittal saw the video, Mittal confessed that it is so nice, so beautiful that I think it is me. He said the voice is perfectly manipulated. So, okay, now he has made a complaint, fine. It will go to some cyber. Can't we push down that man to the law? If not, then this will go on. And that's where is the frustration.
Okay, now what is the kind of coordination or the lack of coordination that you see between authorities when cases, there are also exploitation of these cases. For example, somebody might approach the police to get a kind of a complaint lodged through your cybercrime police station, and your bank account might be frozen. So, I mean, if that happens, Professor Goel?
Taking medicine, you have to repeat. I'm feeling very bad.
Can I repeat the question? Can I repeat the question? Goel sir?
Yeah, please repeat the question.
There is also, lack of coordination or probably malafide intent between authorities. Like, for example, police might be, used for reporting a cybercrime, and your bank account might be frozen. And then, you know the way the police functions in this country, and you get into a trap. On the one side, your account is frozen. On the other side, you do not get any solutions from the police, and you are basically, you land up in a kind of a tizzy. What is your observation on that?
Can I interrupt in between?
PVR, hold second. Let me complete first. I do not want to cast any aspirations on the police or cybercrime officers. Nothing against them. The only problem is how much they have been trained in the system, who has trained them, are they getting the due assistance and help from the internet companies? This is the main question. Yes, PVR, back to you.
Sir, in our system, I'm talking about, there are two things which Goenka sir has told. Number is of banks and number is called police. Okay. There is no description. Every month, RBI is closing cooperative banks. So it is a RBI national banks or cooperative banks is not been defined by an RBI. Number second, when you, which was a personal experience I'm talking about, it is not defined which police officer will investigate the case. In what level? It will be SI or CI or say DSP, SP, DCP or anybody. There is no definition. Yes, there is no law of cyber law or who will be interrogation of the case. If you go to the police 100 and file a case, there is no definition which police officer will be investigating the case, and the case will go on dragging. And once, as sir has told, no police, very less people are being trained about the cybercrime, and that level are taking charges and also checking out what is the loss. But about 2 to 3% police people in India are being trained in cybercrime.
So if suppose somebody's bank account gets frozen, what remedy does he have? Because the police doesn't have the clue, and the person might have been falsely implicated for such an issue, and then the account is also frozen. From a human rights perspective, what do you suggest?
See, they have to go to the court. They have to go to the court and file a case, and the court will give the instructions to the highest police officer to check out about the cyber crime. क्योंकि जब फाइनेंस आता है, it should not be checked by the police. It should be, people don't know that. Court is only authorized. They can file a case. They can file a case or in the court that their amount is been hacked or been reverted. It is not the, and that government, that court judge will instruct the CP or DCP or DSP to investigate the case and give a report to them. So ये जो चीज है हमेशा आपको याद करना चाहिए कि that any case regarding the finance should not be taken into the police station but to the court.
But the police instructed the bank to freeze the account. Somebody lodged a complaint and the police instructed a bank.
No, Mr. Amit, the issue is whenever incident is reported to police, the easiest thing for police is to just block the account so that there is no further loss. Now, having blocked the account, to unblock is not an easy thing because he has to first investigate whether it was a cyber theft or, and that process takes time. And that's where the PVR says that there is no defined procedure, there is no defined law. So it depends on the inspector and how busy he is, how much time he has, and how much help he is getting from internet company. If it is done over Paytm, how much Paytm will help him? If it is done
But
on
sir, when
internet,
they
how
are,
much they will help?
but Goel sir, when they are lodging an FIR, the police people do they not really initially do an investigation to at least know whether it is a cyber crime and then write to the bank or the authority to freeze an account? Or without knowing whether it is a crime, they are asking the bank to freeze an account?
Demand of the no demand of the public and your demand also. If you are affected person, what you want is first safety. Please just block so that no more money goes on. What happens? Suppose the one money has gone 1 lakh. So you are, if you want police to investigate, it is not that he can find within seconds. It will take some time to see, and then he will have to ask the internet companies from where the because it has happened. So they block the account. At least you are saved for the future things. Now investigate. There is nobody in the earth who can just tell you within second that the wrong call or a cyber fraud.
Could you at least give a broad definition about or broad categories or classifications of what could be defined as cyber crime?
There is no definition as such because there is nothing called cyber crime in the law. But in the ordinary language, digital language, cyber means somebody else with the intention to cheat you takes out your banking details and then emotionally or mentally manipulates you to give him the money or the data.
And if
Now,
you
this
have
is not
given,
illegal.
and if it is a business transaction,
That's where the problem lies. If it is a business transaction, then it is his duty. He knows the then he knows it. So it won't be cyber crime. A business transaction something to X Y Z, and then you are paying it. But there the question is different. The question is,
so
suppose
will
you
that
want
be
to
cyber
purchase
crime? If it is a business transaction and the money was willingly given through a proper NEFT transfer, can that be classified as a cyber crime?
NEFT transfer or Paytm transfer is something different. All transfer of money are genuine. They have been genuinely transferred from one account to other account. The only thing is, the only thing is, have if Amit Goenka, for example, knows NK Goel very well and PVR now very well, if he asks PVR, please send me rupees 5 lakhs for this project, and PVR send, then no problem. But suppose Amit Goenka manipulates and somebody else makes a phone call from Amit Goenka's number in his voice, in his video, asking PVR to say 5 lakhs. Now we say, and the government says, be aware. So that why Goenka is asking me 5 lakhs? If he is not aware and he gives the money, then he is at fault. But the government and we expect PVR to be aware. Now, my problem is PVR or Goel can be aware, but how does a village man be aware? That is the problem. And what is the government doing to bring the awareness? Government is doing thousands of things for promotion of digital India, digital payment. What they have done, that you issue advertising. No, that is the
Okay,
problem.
PVR ji, Mr. PVR, Vishwanath Rao ji, internationally, what are the learnings we
if,
can?
if 1 second, if a fraud happens to you, I think it's a financial thing. Every person has to go to the court and file section 199 and section 200 through the CRPC. The court asks the DCP or CP to block the account first and do the interrogation and give the report within 1 week or 10 days. Based on that, if nobody knows account unless and until they get an order from the court. Under section 199 and to the highest authority on straight like CP, DCP, CP and SP to block the account. Thereafter, the process starts. Not FIR. They will do the interrogation. They will file the case in the court. The between कितना पैसा जाएगा आपको नहीं मालूम.
Please come again. Last one, last line.
आपको ये पता नहीं चलेगा कि आपको कितना पैसा गया. Firstly, they will file an FIR. After filing an FIR, they will go to the court to seize the bank account. It will take 2 or 3 days. Thereafter, in between, and it has to be processed through the CP or DCP, who is IPS. And the IPS will come to the court. He will give his own opinion, and thereafter it will be seized. It will take about 4 to 5 days. But once you file a case under section 199 and 200, the court will directly ask the CP, IPS, or who is the authority of that police station, police area, to seize the account उस jurisdiction में, bank jurisdiction में they will file, they will go, they will give a court order, and after the court order it will be seized. It will not take about 2 to 3 days. But if you go to FIR, firstly the FIR will not be taken and all the interrogation will take about 3 to 4 days. ये अपना time pass करेंगे. So once it has been taken that your amount has been cheated, direct file a case under section 199 and 200 of CRPC in the court, which is called under CO moto.
Goel sir, what are the remedies available to or the rights available with the player, with the defendant? Because nowadays this is also being misused. The cyber crime allegation, just like the Me Too and so many things, everything is being, things can get misused. So what are the rights available and how can one, because the laws and definitions are not clear, the systems are very, very, kind of fishy, as we know. So how does a common man, suppose I have a dispute with you, I simply use the police to file a case, and then I'm under a lot of scrutiny. My bank account can be in a problem, and I can be in a problem because I have an FIR against me for cybercrime about which I have no clue. So that situation, how do you handle?
No, you cannot simply file a cyber crime FIR against me. You will say that I cheated you for so and so amount, something like this. Otherwise, it's not a cyber crime.
And cheated you through?
Through whatever is Paytm, OTP, whatever, our bank, or anything.
But that doesn't include a business.
That you don't know.
That doesn't include a business transaction which is being voluntarily transferred.
As I said, normally if you say you have been cheated by NK Goyal on a cyber theft, there will be doubt on you first. If you know NK Goyal or not, you have to say in the cyber crime that I do not know this number, or I got a phone call from the Goyal number, which Goyal says he has not made. So now the question comes up, police will investigate who made the call and all this together to find out. We are not able to find out till to date about Amitabh Bachchan, Akash Ambani, Nayan Murthy, who made, how they made. Because the laws and most of the persons are situated outside India. In the world, there is no global treaty between all of them. So if somebody uses my name and sends a message to Amit Goenka, please transfer me 5 lakh, and you transfer it, you are at fault as per the government and laws, because you should verify whether it is NQL or not. So police will suddenly block the account where money was transferred, not from where sent. So it is transferred to you, so your account will be blocked, and you made the complaint.
Okay. Final thoughts from Mr. Vashwanath Raoji on the human rights angle vis-a-vis cybersecurity from a global perspective.
Yes, sir. See, there should be a uniform cyber laws across the world. So a cyber law has to be planned by United Nations. We only talk about that cyber law is there, cyber crime is there. So we are also planning to have a law by International Bar Council that there should be a uniformed cyber law across the world about this type of transactions going on. At the same time, we are also urging the government of India and as well as the government of Andhra Pradesh so that this type of crimes cannot happen. We are going in that angle only.
Okay, Goyal sir, final thoughts?
While supporting for the global laws, the need for Indian laws, cyber policy, definition of cyber crime, follow-up, training of not only judges or officers concerning the cyber crimes, police officers, LEA we call, also the teachers or the professors, and do not just blame that, be aware. Everybody blames, you should be aware. Baba, how can I be aware? You don't tell that thing to me. Please tell that thing to me how to be aware.
And finally, Goel sir, if that training responsibility is shared with people like you who run this beautiful organization called CSAI, are you prepared to start the dialogues and start the interventions and at what levels are you willing to start, and what are the kind of resources you have disposable with you for
Yes,
taking over such interventions over in the country?
yes, yes, we are 100% prepared. But the question resources, the problem is, why should I invest in making secure Amit Goenka or judges to know the things? That is not my job. It is somebody else's job. It is job of the legal department, judicial department, or government. Why should I go and train them, and then they will also not get training from me? So the resources come from us, not from any association or NGO. That's what the thing is.
And are you already working with the government to start such interventions, or with the corporates, and at what levels?
Yes, we are working with them, but so far the response is not encouraging.
Thank you. I think we have not yet, set the ball rolling. But that is what I understand. But as Goel Saab very succinctly said during one of his, discourses, that if you talk to an NGO, you talk to an institution, you talk to the government, you talk to a university, you talk to teachers, you talk to individuals, you talk to activists, you talk to civil society, you talk to anyone, they are all doing everything. The only thing is that everything is being done. At the end of the day, we still keep seeing, be aware everywhere. Thank you so much. Best wishes.